Primitive variables are non-object variables. They're variables that are held in a specific amount of memory dedicated to your program. In this video, we're going to look at declaring and initializing primitive variables in Java. I've already created a source file for this particular application called variabledemo.java. So I'm going to start by declaring our class variabledemo. And of course, our class will be contained in these brackets. And then we're going to actually work within our main method. So we're going to use public static void main. This takes an array of string arguments. So now we're going to declare some primitive variables. Now, primitive variables are called such because they already take up a predetermined amount of memory. Now, that memory is not variable from architecture to architecture, like in some languages like C. That amount of memory is determined by the Java infrastructure. So we're first going to declare an integer. And the way we declare it is just like this, int, and then the name of the variable. So this is known as variable declaration. And this just says to Java, hey, we're going to have an integer variable called age, so clear out some memory. Then we initialize the variable with some value. So here we're saying that our initial value in age is 38. Equals there becomes the assignment operator. We can also combine the two processes like this. Player score equals, 35,000. So this is combined declaration and initialization. Put a comment right there. Combined initialization and declaration. Declaration obviously coming first. So an integer is just one type of variable. We have other types, for example, floating point variables. So we could declare a float for something like a GPA. So a GPA of, let's say, 3.54. So this declares a floating point variable, something with a decimal point, called GPA, a value of 3.54. We also have the ability for higher precision floats. Those are known as doubles. They have double the precision. So there we could have some value equal to, 6.55784, whatever. And that gives us more precision than a simple float would. Other types of primitive variables include long, which is a long integer, short, which is a short integer, a byte, which carries enough information for 1 byte of memory. A couple other primitives you might find useful are a boolean, which carries a value of either true or false. So that actually only occupies 1 bit of memory. You might also see a char or character, and that carries a single character. So grade equals A. So we can use any of these primitive variables that I've declared inside our program, either to do arithmetic and mathematics or to just output them. So, for example, let's do a little arithmetic. Let's use system out println, and let's output player score divided by 3. And let's do a couple of other examples here. System out println. And we can say here, my GPA was, and then we'll simply output the GPA variable value just like that. Now, a Boolean is not really meant for output, but we could output it too. A grade is kind of built for output here with the char. So let's use system out println. My average grade was, I'm actually lying here. My average grade was more closer to a B, just like that. So here we've done a little arithmetic with our variable, and here we've just output the values of the variable. Let's go ahead and compile using our command line. So let's see here. There is our variable demo.java. So that's what we're going to have to compile. So I'm going to use javac variable demo.java. And note here, it notes a possible loss of precision with the float GPA. And that's because when we're outputting it, we might lose some of the precision here in the float. Now, we can actually fix that if we put an F at the end, which gives us the full float value. Now, we don't get the warning, and we can run our program, Java variable demo. And here you can see the results of these lines, 17, 18, and 19. We've got 11,666, which is player score divided by 3. My GPA was 3.54. My average grade was A. Primitive variables are used whenever you're doing arithmetic or need to hold simple values using Java.